Welcome to the August update for Copilot. In this episode, we will be reviewing some new features and functions to the site. The site has been enriched with a few new elements. We wanted to make the loading experience a little more pleasurable for our users, and so we've created a new loading GIF. When waiting for a report to load, rather than using the default spinning wheel, we've spent a little time to create a nice looking visual to keep you occupied for the few seconds that you wait for your reports. We've also had some requests from our users to make sure that we give you the ability to hover on a filter and see what options you've actually selected on any report in Copilot. Let me show you how this works. Here I've pulled up the live readmission rate report in Copilot, and now you'll notice that every one of the filters has this little icon. If you hover here, you can see what options you've selected on any filter on any report in Copilot. The site has also been enhanced with updates to the data sets themselves. Recently, we received the Q1 2019 claims data from CMS. This has now been uploaded and is present in all of the reports in the claims data section of Copilot. Likewise, we received an update from Nursing Home Compare, and so any report that draws elements from Nursing Home Compare's datasets are now updated. Lastly, we've made multiple enhancements to the reporting platform, so much so that we had to put these onto a different slide. As you will recall, all of the reports in Copilot are categorized into three basic elements: live data, claims data, and industry-related data. In the live data section, we've added some changes to the readmission, ED, and length of stay reports. We've changed the report sliders so that the date range can now be relative and also reflects a full 5 years of data. Let me show you what I mean. Again, we're looking at the live readmission rate report, and you'll notice that the date range slicer has changed. It is now a relative slider, meaning you can specify an exact date simply by clicking on the box and or by moving the slider back and forth. Do note that if you're in the readmission rate report and you're dynamically changing the date range, you will want to account for at least an extra 30 days on any analysis to ensure that you have an accurate readmission count. In the readmission rate reports, as well as the ED visit report, we wanted to give the users the ability to drill down into the data, primarily on the main page of the report. Here's what I mean. On the first page of both the ED and readmission rate reports, you're given a trend analysis. We've decided to set this report so that it starts at the highest possible level. In this example, it's a year recap. And if you go into the report, you'll now notice there are arrows that allow you to drill down into the reporting. Here's what I mean by this. If I wanted to move from a year recap and go back to a month recap, I simply click on the down arrow, and now I'm presented with a monthly recap. To move back up in the reporting, just click the up arrow. In terms of our claims data, we've had multiple requests for enhancements to our Med-A market share report. Specifically, clients are wanting to see what percentage of the market share they have in any given date range. Here I have the Med-A market share report pulled up, and I've made a couple of filter selections. I've picked the state of Illinois, the county of Cook, and I'm specifically looking at discharge patterns from the Northwestern Memorial Hospital. As always, on the first page you have a pie chart that will show you the percentage of market share that you have overall. But to show you the subtle percentages here, we've added another tab. Here we have a list of all the facilities that are receiving patients from Northwestern Memorial, and you can see an actual head count for patients coming out on a quarter-by-quarter basis. And we've also added in a calculation to show you what percentage of the market you have in any given quarter. Now do note that the CMS arrangement we have does not allow us to show data sets of less than 11. So if you do have fewer than 11 patients, the percentages will be zeroed out. We wanted to make a pretty logical change to one of the industry-related elements. We have moved the reputation monitor. We've taken it out of the claims data section and moved it into the industry-related categories for Copilot. We've also added a national average and a trend analysis capability to the report. Here's how this works. In the reputation monitor, I've pulled up the state of Illinois, I'm looking at the county of Cook, and specifically I've called out the city of Niles. Here you can see Copilot has delivered a list of all the facilities in these geographic regions, and we've added in the current national averages for the star ratings. Now, as always, highlighted in red are any facilities that have had a decline since the last reporting period, and in blue you will find facilities that have moved up since the last reporting period. Now, the drill through functionality for trending analysis works like this. Simply click on any of the facilities, right click and select drill through. There are a number of metrics you can drill through to, and so for this example I'll stay with the 5-star ratings and we'll look at a trend analysis for overall rating. Now you have the ability to go back in time and see how well each facility is doing in terms of a trending analysis. You also have the ability to drill through on any one of the measures. So if I go to, for example, the quality measures from the claims database, I can see along the top the current national averages. Conditionally formatted are any facilities that are underperforming compared to the national average. And then down at the bottom, we have the ability to do comparative analytics in each one of these metrics, simply by clicking on this drop-down menu here. And then, as I said before, you can pick any facility, right-click, and you can drill through and you can look at trending information for any one of the metrics. So in this example, I'm looking at a trend analysis for the quality measures from a claims perspective. Like the reputation monitor, the survey tag analyzer continues to be one of our more popular reports. To enhance the experience in the survey tag analyzer, we've added in 3 years of data. And because of a lot of feedback from our users, we've also created a regional comparison to the report, as well as give the user the ability to filter by scope and severity. Here's how this works. On the main page of the survey tag analyzer, you will now see a filter for scope and severity. So you can actually filter the data set by either scope or severity. And as I mentioned before, you also have the ability to pull up a regional comparison. And so you can see which regions are actually being tagged more often than any others in the country. Lastly, we did add the ability for you to go back in time and grab up to 3 years of data. So if you wanted to do historical analytics, the system now has that capability. The last report in the update this month is in the industry-related section, and it is our cost report. Now, the current version of the cost report was taking a very long time to load, so we've trimmed up the analytics and made sure that it loads quicker. We've also added a year-over-year occupancy element to the main page and given you the ability to look at market share from a cost reporting perspective. Here's what this looks like. On the main page of the cost report, you'll see here that I've selected the state of Illinois, the county of Cook, and the city of Niles, and I can see a map representation of all the providers. We've also added in the ability for you to see occupancy by fiscal year, so you can go in and actually see a trend analysis for occupancy. And then lastly, we did add another tab for market share. Now this is different than the claims-based market share. This is market share data taken from cost reports. And when you click here, you can see how well each of the facilities are doing in terms of their percentage of Medicare days, Medicaid days, and what we call other days. Do note, in the cost reporting database, other days contains private patients, VA patients, as well as HMO patients. Each month we try to showcase one of the new enhancements or a current function in the site. This month, we're going to be showcasing the right-click Show Data functionality. This was a recent enhancement that we added to the site. We had a lot of feedback from users. They were wanting to have the ability to capture not only the visual elements that are represented in a chart, but also be able on the same page to see the underlying data. And so we've added that functionality to the site, and here's how it works on any report in Copilot. I'm going to stay with the market share elements on the cost report. So let's say, for example, I wanted to blow up this chart, but I also wanted to see the underlying data. To do that in Copilot, all you have to do is click on the chart element and then go to the ellipsis in the upper right-hand corner and select Show Data. When you do this, you get the same chart, but you also get a table of information that's below, and this will have the underlying data that's driving the report. To move out of the screen and back to the main report, just click at the top where it says Back to Report. As always, we remain very excited to bring these changes to the industry, and wanted to give you kind of a quick preview on some of the things we're working on for future enhancements. The current PDPM analyzer, as we all know, is pulling from submitted claims data. What we will be moving towards is live data, meaning you will have the ability to look at an unsubmitted, unlocked MDS and make dynamic changes to the ICD-10s. We're also planning on bringing some predictive modeling to that particular report. Future enhancements to the site will include reporting around Section GG, as well as our customer satisfaction reports. Please continue to give us your feedback and your requests. We do take these very seriously, and we meet routinely to try and find ways that we can enhance the product to meet the needs of our customers. Thank you so much. This has been the update to the Copilot product in August of 2019.